I'm Dean Galusha, and welcome to another edition of Shootin' Plink, and this is another For the Fun of It edition. We just did a comparison, or a continuation of a comparison, with the Ruger 1022, Umarex Ruger 1022 I should say, air gun, and the Crosman 1077. Well, there's still some CO2 in them. So we're going to do some plinking, and well, we're not going out to 40 yards because we already did that and we looked at that. So we're going to just be probably about 15 yards, because I'm not even sure there's much CO2 left in this Crosman. At that time I had told you that I think things got a little screwed up when I was putting this down. A lot of CO2 release, so it's probably really down to almost nothing. So anyway, let's turn around and do some plinking here. I got them set right up here. You can see them right there. The bottles, even got one that's actually looking this way. So first we're going to use this Crosman. You're setting up here at about 7 yards, and I'm moving back. I think maybe I'll go clear back to 20. How about that? Well, it had enough to get a couple, but the CO2 is just running down too low. So we're going to switch over to that Umarex and see if it's got enough left in it. Alright, I set the bottles up there again, and I loaded the Umarex. You turn the red dot on, and we'll see what we can do. I got a couple of them up above too. Can you see that? I think you can. Yes. Okay, we got a couple of them up on top too. Maybe I'll shoot at those first, see what happens. Well, I was out of pellets. That was back at 20 yards, so I came back. You know, I'm going to load this thing again, have some more fun, because it looks like the CO2 is still up in this. Before we start shooting this time, I want to show you something on this. The one thing you want to do with these rotary magazines like this, first off, you want to make sure you got your pellets in the right direction. But when you're putting them into the actual magazine holder, you may not be able to get them in, just like this. Okay, this will not go. It don't make any difference. I mean, you have to have it in the right direction, of course. Why won't it go in? It's because of these. Can you see them? I don't know if you can see what I'm talking about or not. They're just slightly upward. Now, when they're like that, they're not going to fit in there good. So you want to really make sure these are pushed down in good, or you're going to have some problems. And that goes with the Crosman we shot there earlier too. I sure wish that thing, the CO2, had stayed up in it, but it hadn't. So, you know, that's one of those things. And then once it's in there, you can see it rolls right. Then make sure on these you always push that lock forward, and then load up your magazine. You're ready to go. So now let's shoot at some of these. And again, we're going to go back to about 20 yards, and there. Got the bolt ready, and we'll see what she does. Well, I ran out of ammo again, but I'm not going to have you sitting here. In fact, I'm going to have some more fun and keep right on doing some plinking until this thing runs out. And that way we'll just see how many rounds we do get. I've fired quite a few rounds out of this so far. I think on the other video, fired around, well, yeah, fired 20 rounds there. Fired 20 here, so that's 40 rounds. Probably going to get quite a few more out of this. There's 2 C02 cartridges in this, by the way, on this Umarex. But again, that little 1077 Crosman's a pretty doggone good gun too. But you can see how this does, and this is, by the way, if you haven't known it, this is an Axion red dot, and I use that on here because it takes the place of my open sights. The reason being, and if you watch the review on this, you'll see that this is not right on. The windage just does not adjust on this, and well, there's no adjustment period. I mean, you have to just use your sights, or it does have this rail, which is very nice. I mean, you can put the rail on there, and I got one that I think I got it off of Amazon and put that on there, and that is a regular 1022 rail, by the way, that will fit on here. I mean, everything like this is like a regular Ruger 1022, except it's an air gun. And so naturally you got to load it a little bit different. The magazine's somewhat different, but it's an awful lot like the real one. Except, again, the real one has a box magazine where you put your rounds of 22 LR in there. But anyway, that's, like I said, this was just for the fun of it. We just did some shooting. We're going to do this every now and then, just for the fun of it, shooting plinks. So until next time, shoot safe and have a great day of plinking.